What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again once again, and today we are doing something completely different. Today we're talking about the nature of critique and critique itself, but in sort of a video reaction format. But first, a little bit of setup. So recently I was editing videos for YouTube, as you do when you make content for YouTube. I know, mind-blowing, right? And I was letting YouTube play as noise in the background on my TV, when this video by Zenos Says Vax popped up called Zenos Reacts to the Terra Incident by Josh Strife Hayes. This is where we start going down the rabbit hole of reactions, reacting to reactions of reactions, so we can react to what they react to as they react to what others react to. No, I kid you not, we're not doing that. I would never put you through that. Unless... No. Now, before we get into it, a word from our wonderful sponsors, NordVPN. When you're not using NordVPN, ISPs, governments, and hackers can see exactly what you're doing online. But by connecting to NordVPN's fast and secure servers, your data will be doubly encrypted as you go about your internet browsing shenanigans. In the modern world, virtually everything you do is online, like gaming, where you need to protect yourself from DDoS attacks as you're ascending to the lighthouse in the Trials of Osiris. Still, one of the only ways for cheaters to effectively ruin your run is by DDoSing you, because Destiny is a peer-to-peer match-made game. Or maybe you just want to watch Netflix. You're sitting there and you just finished Squid Games and you're looking for something else like it, but nothing is available in your region. So, as you do, you go on the internet and you look for things that are like Squid Games. You find one, you open up your handy-dandy NordVPN app, and simply change your location. No muss, no fuss, convenience at a click. On top of all of that wonderful goodness, NordVPN also offers super fast servers in over 60 countries, no data logging, 24/7 customer support via live chat and email, double data encryption for increased anonymity. But wait, there's more. It works in China, and if for some traveler-forsaken reason you regret your purchase, NordVPN offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. But Joker! I hear you cry out, oh contrarian commenter of contrarian comments. VPNs are expensive. Well, that's where you're wrong. For you see, not only is it the 1-year anniversary of NordVPN sponsoring the channel, but it's also NordVPN's 10th birthday. And boy oh boy, do they have a deal for you. Go to nordvpn.com/buttjoker or click on the link in the description below or in the pinned comment where you can get a month free and an additional gift. That's right, NordVPN is giving you a gift on their birthday when you sign up for a 2-year plan. With that out of the way, I really would like to thank NordVPN for sponsoring the channel over the last year, but back to the video. So I watched Zenos' vid, and then I hopped over to the original video for full context. Basically, the setup is Josh is playing one of the greatest games ever created, Dragon Age Origins, on stream, when somebody in chat decides to take umbrage with what Josh had to say about a game called Terra Online. I'm guessing this isn't from anything that he said in stream, but from his worst MMO ever Terra video, which seems to be a video series about looking at the flaws in MMOs. I don't know, I've never watched them, and it's not really necessary for this video. The point in the shape of the tooth is, he said something somebody didn't like about a video game that they really liked and confronted him about it. Hijinks ensues. So that's the setup, let's get into it.
I mean, yeah, if you enjoyed Terra and you've spent 11 years in there, okay, cool. Great. Did you have fun? I played Neverwinter for like 5 years. I had fun. It's a bad game, but I had fun.
Or in the words of the amazing Grant,
anime is trash. And so am I.
I actually did a video, I don't know, 6 months to a year ago now at this point, called Destiny is trash, ... and so am I, or something along those lines. There may or may not be a link for it somewhere, depending on if I remember. But like, whatever happened to the guilty pleasure? The B movie, the it's so bad it's good, the dumpster fire that you just can't take your eyes off of, and admitting that it's a dumpster fire. People are so wrapped up in their fandoms, they lack the ability to step back and call a spade a spade. One of my favorite games of all time is a little piece of cyberpunk trash called Syndicate. This game came out in like 2012, and I remember loving the shit out of it. It was ugly as sin. It was generic schlock cyberpunk. And hey, every media outlet lambasted the shit out of this game for being generic, for being ugly, for being just kind of okay. That being said, the 4-player co-op heist mode, I remember being really fun. if not the highlight of the game, but nobody bought the game, so you couldn't play it with anybody but bots. So, but at the same time, I still enjoyed it. But I would never, ever defend it.
If I say your game is not as good as it could be, I'm not saying that you didn't have fun. I'm not invalidating your experience. And if you watched any of my videos, you would literally hear me say that repeatedly.
This is something that people do not, cannot, or simply will not understand. Just because I say Destiny 2 could be better, even in a way that you find is a nitpick, and point out all of the flaws, it does not mean that I'm saying you are bad for liking it, or that you're wasting your time, or that your experience is invalidated. I'm not saying you can't like something. I'm not saying that I don't want you to like it. All I'm saying, all I have ever said, is that I personally believe that X, Y, or Z is an issue, and wouldn't it be cool if the multi-billion-dollar corporation addressed it? Now, I have been criticized for criticizing Destiny when people believe that it's in a good state. But that ignores that, 1, Destiny has spent more time as a bad game than a good game on average over the last 8 years. And 2, who are you to say what a nitpick is? Who are you to say what somebody can and cannot be invested in and can and cannot find objectionable? Is that not what the point of discourse is? Isn't it just better for everybody involved to have the Naismith, have the devil's advocate, to acknowledge issues, even if you don't think they're that big of a deal, in the hope that the multi-billion-dollar corporation fixes them or does better next time? I mean, isn't that literally a win-win for everybody?
But Joker!
I hear you cry out in your shrill, tremulous voices.
If Destiny has spent more time bad than good, why do you still play it? Why do you still cover it?
It's a guilty pleasure. I like being a Titan. I am emotionally attached to being a Titan. I like the power fantasy. I like the meaning and symbolism in the lore. I'm going to share a little secret with you that's not actually secret if you've been paying attention. I think Destiny 1 and 2 are some of the best mechanically made games ever. It just plays really freaking well. Think about your favorite class. Probably before bitching about how it plays in PvP got it nerfed into the ground. RIP shoulder charge, I think I'll figure something out.
Double down, triple down. Fantastic work. One after another. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. Fantastic work.
Think about your favorite weapon. Think about the playstyles that draw you to the game. One of my favorite weapons is Lord of Wolves, and not really for anything that it does. A rapid-fire fusion rifle eats its lunch. But I love the flavor text. Destiny has some of the coolest weapon flavor text in any game. Maybe I should do a video about my favorite lore tabs and or flavor text. Let me know if you guys want to see that in the comments below. Think about the playstyles that draw you to the game. Think about the way that shooting feels, that moving feels. Largely, it all feels great. Playing Destiny 2 as a game, removed from all the bullshit, removed from Witch Queen's confusing and horrifically bad pricing model, removed from reissued weapons, removed from sunsetting, removed from the embarrassing lack of PvP support, removed of the repetitive horde modes, removed of the lackluster yearly story campaigns that we tend to get. I know, that's a lot of caveats, but for the sake of argument, focus on the music, on the art, on the skyboxes, on the act of playing your favorite class with your favorite weapon, feeding into the power fantasy of being a guardian. Destiny 2 is a great game mired in a lot of bullshit, but it doesn't have to be that way. One of the criticisms, as I stated earlier, that I get is that I criticize the game when it's good or okay. But what if it wasn't just good or okay? What if it was amazing? What if we didn't settle for bare minimums?
Time you enjoyed wasting is not wasted time. If you had fun and you enjoyed it, that is some good stuff going on right there.
This is something that I think more players should take to heart. Destiny is a guilty pleasure. It has its faults, and lots of them. But it's also clearly created by intelligent people who are masters of their craft, even if I don't always agree with the direction of the game. And this is important because I've always stated it doesn't matter if John or Jane Doe at desk 357 created X content. It went up the chain of command to a lead, then to management, then was either okayed or scrapped, or likely changed. Aspects to fit a vision that some people don't know, or they took the idea that they didn't quite understand and implemented it in a way that it was never meant to be implemented, or didn't have time to test it properly. Stasis comes to mind. It's not the dev team's issue that Stasis shipped as it did, it's management's problem. Just like it's not my problem, there's not more vault space coming with Witch Queen. That's Bungie's problem. It's not my job to find a solution and hand it to them on a silver platter. It's my job to explain why it's a problem. Well, a problem for you guys, not for me. My vault scares people. And that's something else that I think people often forget. I play way more devil's advocate than I think people realize. Vault space is clearly a problem, but not for me. Yet, it's something that I've addressed. But it doesn't affect me. However, it does affect the game, and it does affect other players.
What you're saying is, yes, the game is bad, and yes, the questing system is bad, and yes, everything that isn't combat is bad, but, what can you do? What can you do? You make a video about it, saying everything apart from the combat's bad. And then the game company will look at it and go, oh damn, everything apart from the combat is bad, maybe we should improve the other stuff.
Now, of course, officially, Bungie has me blocked. But I do have my fans. And I'm not just talking about my viewers. It's also hard to argue that, more often than not, I'll point out something that is an issue, well before it being an issue reaches critical mass, and then, once it's reached critical mass, it becomes the popular opinion. And sure, you can whinge on and tone police and argue that it doesn't matter if I'm right, or how often I'm right, if I say it like an asshole. And maybe, just maybe, there might even be an ounce of credibility to that. Though often that criticism just sounds like people clutching at pearls because you said naughty words about their favorite thing. But you know what tarnishes credibility to me more than being a tad bit spicy? Knowing that something is wrong, praising it because that's where the winds are blowing in the moment, feeding into the hype, and then criticizing it once it becomes okay to do so. If you know something's wrong and you wait until you're given permission to say it's wrong, that just doesn't sit right with me. And I think Destiny would be in a much better place if we didn't play this cycle of hype dying, then people getting bored and frustrated, then giving permission to criticize things that were clearly wrong when they were first shown off or the game was released.
But I killed Terra. Sarah, did you watch the video? Did you actually watch the video, genuinely? Because if you watched the video, what you will have heard is me explain that I like Terra, I like the combat, and I like the situations you can get into, but I don't like the fact that the choices they have made have killed the game. You need to understand, I didn't kill Terra because I don't develop Terra. What I have done is reported.
I think this is what it basically boils down to. See, it's not the criticism of this, that, or the other and how it could be better. It's not even how that criticism is delivered. Tone policing is the weakest argument anyone can ever use. The issue is the fact that you dared to voice the criticism at all. More so with a game like Destiny that waxes and wanes with player interest. Witch Queen looks like it's doing great, but I see comments all the time, and not just on my channel, about how people are done with Destiny, how they're taking a break, how their friends and family have left the game because the game is so unapproachable after a certain point. I truly believe that this isn't about being a corporate shill or sucking Bungie's dick or what have you. I mean, those are cute, fun memes, and when trolls are trolling, obviously, throw them at the trolls. But I really think it comes down to people not wanting to lose their friends group in the game that they love. And if people see you reporting negative things about that game, then there's a chance that their friends and family will see that as well, and they will quit the game and move on. However,
on what the developer has done. And if you're upset about that, that's not my fault for telling you, it's the developer's fault for doing it. Don't get sad or angry or annoyed at the person who tells you what's happening. You need to get sad and annoyed at the people who make the decisions.
Need I say any more? Don't take umbrage with me covering negative aspects of Destiny in the hope that Bungie will either fix it or do better in the future, not worse. More so when it comes to things like monetization. Take issue with Bungie for doing it. Or realize that if you disagree, that's fine. What do I say at the end of every one of my videos? Those are just my opinions. We can simply agree to disagree. But people do have to realize that there are lots of people that agree with my opinion. We have to voice our concerns with the games that we love. If we don't, then all we'll get is all we've ever gotten. If we didn't voice our concerns with Destiny 2 Year 1, do you think that Bungie would have changed anything? No, we would not have gotten Forsaken. If we didn't voice our issues with Shadowkeep and the seasons in between, do you think we would have gotten this last year of content that is at least better than what came before it? No, why would Bungie change if they have no reason to change? Witch Queen looks like it's going to be good, and Bungie is promising a lot. If they deliver on their promise, I will praise it. If they do not, I will outline where they failed. At the end of the day, don't shoot the messenger. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon. It really helps the channel out. But above all else, stay frosty.